Hi guys, Marcia here with KitchenBee Style. I'm here to talk about my summer Know Me pattern, ME2093. This pattern comes in two pattern sizes AA, which is 10 through 18, and sizes BB, which is 20 wide to 26 wide. Now this pattern also comes in two different views. Your view A is going to be this off the shoulder bellowy puff sleeve top, and view B is going to be your skirt with Godet features. So for this sew along, we're going to be focusing on view A, which is the puff sleeve off the shoulder top. So if you're ready to get into this sew along, grab your pattern and your fabric and let's get to it. To begin, we're going to bring together the front pieces, which is pieces 1. I went ahead and serged the center front edges of these pieces. Now we can pin the center front edges together, matching the notches. And then when that's done, we'll take it to the machine and we'll stitch from the lower edge to within 3 inches of the notch. Once that's done, you can press the seam open, and then we're going to move on to the zipper. After you've prepared your zipper and pressed the tape flat on the wrong side, you're going to go ahead and pin your right side of the zipper face down on the right side of the zipper opening. Match the coil up along the seam line and the tape within the seam allowance. Then we'll take it to the machine, and using our zipper foot, we'll stitch along the tape to the notch, making sure to back stitch to reinforce. Once that's done, we'll pin the remaining half of the zipper to the left side of the zipper opening in the same manner. And then we'll take it to the machine and stitch it as so. Close the zipper and check that it is in fact invisible from the outside. And if you haven't done so already, pin the remaining center front seam together below the zipper and finish the zipper seam. Now we'll move on to our back piece. Grab your back piece, piece 2, and with the right sides together, we're going to match the notches and raw edges and pin the back to the front piece at the side edges. Now take it to the machine and give it a stitch. Now let's construct our sleeve, which is piece 3. You should have 2 of these. We're going to take one sleeve and fold it over with right sides together, matching the underarm edges and notches. And we're going to pin the underarm edges together. And then we'll take it to the machine and give it a stitch. Don't forget to complete this for both sleeves. Go ahead and add your gathering stitches to the lower edge inside the 3/4 inch seam line and another stitch 1/4 inch from the previous stitching within the seam allowance. You can go ahead and give those stitches a pull, and then we're going to move on to attaching those to the actual shirt. Go ahead and grab your shirt and turn the sleeves right side out. And with right sides together, you're going to pin your sleeve to the armhole edge, matching those underarm seams and matching the notches. And then you're going to pin the sleeve to the shirt. After you've pinned the sleeve to the shirt, we'll take it to the machine and we'll give it a stitch. I'm going to go ahead and put the other sleeve in. I am putting right sides together, matching the notches and the seams. Okay, let's go ahead and stitch that up. Okay, so now you should have your sleeve and your shirt, and go ahead and assemble your lining in the same way that we assembled the shirt. And after you've done that, we're going to do the gathering around the neck, the top neck, between the front notches. Where's my notches? Between the front notches, they should be close to the zipper somewhere, and going all the way around. And then we'll come back and we will put the two pieces together. Okay, so I've added my gathers at the neckline of my top. And what we're going to do now is we're going to attach. I'm leaving the straps off of this version. If you're following the instructions as they are written for this pattern, the next step is to actually do the hem and add straps. I'm omitting the straps from this version, but if you would like to go ahead and do your straps, we're gonna put the lining in, so you wanna do your straps first if you are doing the straps. Like I said, I'm not gonna do the straps. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the lining, and with right sides together, we are going to put these two pieces together. I'm going to slide the arm and the shirt inside here like so, and match up the collar or the neckline of the shirt. Alright, so you can go ahead, I'm going to unzip this to make it easier. You can go ahead and match up the top corner of that neckline where the zipper edge starts, and match up seams, because what we're going to do is we're going to take our gathers and we're going to fit the shirt to the lining. So we're going to pull our gathers until it's fitted with the lining. I'm just matching up the seams because we do want our seams to match. All right. All right, so I have my seams matched, and at this last corner, I'm just going to pull, and I'm going to keep pulling until it's fitted with the lining. You may have to adjust the pins a little bit to get it in there. I'm gonna pull it a lot and then move it out. So you might have to work with a little bit to get the gathers in there. After your shirt and lining are secure, take it to the machine and stitch 3/4 of an inch from the edge. Okay, so once you have sewn the neckline, you're going to want to make sure you open up the zipper. Let me close that. And if you're like me and you sew the seam of the zipper and the lining shut, make sure you open it back up. You're going to want it flat. So what we're going to do now is we're going to close up that zipper opening, pin the seam together of the zipper, like so. Make sure you do both sides. I accidentally closed that up, so I'm just opening it so that I can get that zipper opening. There we go. Matching the edges, finished or raw, you're gonna pin those edges together, encasing the zipper tape with right sides together. And you may need to use your invisible zipper foot for this so that you make sure that you are stitching it in the right area and not on top of the zipper, and you get most of that tape and that seam in there. So I'm going to take this machine and I'm going to give that a stitch. Okay, so before we turn it inside out, we're going to go ahead and make our elastic casing. So on that seam, we're going to stitch, let me change my foot back. We're going to stitch about 1/2 inch from the first stitching within the seam allowance, making your casing. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, so now you should have your casing. And before we move on to elastic, don't forget to clip and trim your corners. You should have already cut your elastic based on the elastic guideline provided with the pattern. There should also be an opening at the beginning and end of the casing to guide your elastic through. You're going to use a safety pin or any tool that you use to guide your elastic through the casing. Place your safety pin through the opening of the casing and move it through until you get to the other end. You may have to maneuver a little bit. Make sure you do not let that tail end up in the middle of your casing. You want it to hang out so that it's easier to adjust and secure at the end. Once you're done, go ahead and stitch up the openings to your casing, making sure to grab that elastic in your stitches. You've now finished the elastic neckline, and now we're going to move on to elasticizing the sleeve and doing it in the same manner as we did the neckline. So first you want to pull the gatherings on your sleeve so that it fits the size of the lining. You're going to gather to fit, evening out the gathers. Make sure you do this with both sleeves. All right, so once you have those gathers even, make sure you grab these seams together, the front seam and the lining seam, and then you're going to reach up under between the lining and the shirt and just pinch that seam and pull it through. Pull it through. You just want to make sure you have those together, and then bring the right sides of that pinched seam that you pull through, that pinched edge that you pull through, and match them up with the right sides together and pin or clip them together. Pin right sides together the way you pulled them through. And that's how you're going to get that seam and casing for your sleeve. You might have to move around and back again just to get through there. I'm going to go back this way so I can do this side of it. When you're done, stitch it and add the casing stitching and elastic same way you did with the neckline, and then we'll move on to the hem. Okay, so finally we are going to do the hem. If you've been following the instructions, along the instructions, you have already done your hem. But I saved mine for last because I'm doing it just a little bit differently. I want to have the hem hidden within, much like the sleeves here, and it's going to be just a little bit bubbled because the lining is shorter. I cut the lining shorter, about 3 inches shorter than the actual shirt, and that shirt is just a tad bit wider. So what I did was I went ahead and I put the gathering stitches at the hemline of just a shirt, and I'm going to pull that so that it matches to my lining, just like we did the sleeve. We're doing it just like the sleeve, except that we are not putting the elastic in it. So let's go ahead and pull that through. Alrighty, like so. Just some gathers here. Let's see what we're looking at here. Once you're done with your gatherings, we're going to match up our seams and we're going to pin them in place with right sides together, just as we did with our sleeves and our neckline. We're going to pin that, and we won't need elastic for this, but you're going to pin it and tuck all of that inside like that, and leave an opening so that you can actually turn it right side out. Once you're done, you can take it to the machine and stitch it 3/8 of an inch from the edge. Don't forget to leave a 2 to 3 inch opening to turn it right side out, and then slip stitch for closure. This sew along is complete, and you've finished the coolest off the shoulder puffy sleeve summer shirt with my Know Me pattern ME2093. Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe. And for more styling inspo, check me out on Instagram at KichiBStyle. Thanks for watching. Peace.